Hello, and this video is the start of a month-long exploration of oil pastels. Oil pastels are one of my favorite mediums to work with, but I still have so much to learn. So in this video, I'm going to look at all the oil pastels I have, as well as some of the pieces of artwork that I have started with, um, in hopes that by the end of the month, I have improved significantly and feel better about my art journey. Now, first off, I have these Georgian soft oil pastels, and they are an Indian company, and this is their macaroon set. It has a lot of very interesting colors. They are super soft and creamy. They're very inexpensive. They're not light fast. They're definitely fun to work with, but not professional grade at all. On the other hand, these Holbein Artist Oil Pastels are very professional grade. I recently got these, so I haven't used them very much at all yet. So that is something that I will be playing with some more. Mungyo are also, I think, a well-known brand. They are great student grade oil pastels. They're on the harder side, and they've been very fun to work with. I definitely recommend them. This is an Australian brand, Boyle. I recently did a video looking at these, so I'll link that. These are incredibly soft and sticky, squishy when they get a little warm. They're pastel colors, and they're very fun to work with, but again, very inexpensive, not light fast, but mostly just fun. Another Australian brand is Montmartre or Montmartre. Now these are well used, well loved. My first oil pastels I ever had. They're very cheap, not very light fast, but they have been great to work with to start with. Another very well-known brand, Sennelier. I brought these around the same time I got the Holbein ones while I was in Japan. I, again, have not used these very much, but am hoping to give them a bit of a workout this month, though they are very expensive, and that can be quite stressful when it comes to using things, as I don't feel skilled enough to use the expensive supplies. Now, these Van Gogh oil pastels, a subsidy of Royal Talents, I brought in single form as they were on sale. They are very hard. I have had these for a while and I'd forgotten about them. In that little bag, they just got shuffled to the side and just ignored until I was cleaning up again, which shows terrible organization on my part and perhaps a bit of overconsumption, which is not advisable. So I'm working to correct that. Now these are some of the pieces that I've done. I like this piece a lot. I like the use of sgraffito. I don't do that very often. I don't feel confident in it. There's a skill to making it look good. Sometimes it can just, I find when I do it, sometimes it just looks very rubbish. So I don't do it very often. That might be something to work on to rectify. Now these are the Boyle oil pastels all swatched out. They're very crumbly, very thick when they lay it down. I have found that I do really enjoy that in an oil pastel. I like soft, very easy to layer thickly. The Giorgione soft oil pastels are very much the same. So I do prefer the kind to the hard, but there is definitely good use for both, like working together. The Holbein Artist Oil Pastels are a lot harder in comparison to the previous two. They're quite hard, and that it is good to work with both together. So I'm definitely going to be trying that some more. Western Elliot, on the other hand, are a lot softer. They're extremely soft. They're not crumbly in the same way as the cheaper brands, which is probably a good thing, but I'm so used to the very crumbly kind. I don't know how to work with the better quality oil pastels. Um, Now, this paper is very textured. It's from a brand called Typo. It it's not anything special, but yeah, it is very textured, almost too textured. Now that been messing around with some other papers, um, so it is definitely something to keep in mind how textured a paper is. But that's definitely going to be something that I am messing around with as I try and become more skilled and develop better habits around oil pastel, um, different paper surfaces, different techniques. Um, that's basically the goal of this month. Um, Here are some fruits that I was following along with the tutorial, seeing how I could get them to work. This is another tutorial that I followed along to. This one's by Katrina Crouch. And I'm quite happy with how it came out. It's very useful to follow tutorials. It definitely helps improve. Now, this page I did a lot of stippling to the point where I overdid it. I sort of got carried away. It's a very slow process, but I just kept going and going, and then I forgot to leave the patches of the sky that existed in the reference image. But I kind of like it. But yes, stippling is another way to use oil pastels. It's a lot of fun. Like it looks really good, but it can get very repetitive and tiring on the arm as you're stippling. It can it can be a lot. Um, this is another piece that I'm quite proud of for the most part. I like the different colors, the variation. Um, I did this one. I tried doing a bit of sgraffito and really disliking it. I tried to get the sort of river and the clouds, and I just felt it looked too. I don't know. I don't know. It just didn't look right, and I kept trying it, and then kept like covering it up until I just decided no, no sgraffito here. Um, so yeah, I think it is something that is, difficult to look right. But this is another piece that I'm really proud of. I really, really like how it came out. I'm thinking of doing something like this again, but on different paper with some of my better materials. I like the thickness, the mixture. I think I could try and redo that as sort of more of a direct comparison. Um, this piece is one that didn't turn out how I wanted it to. Everything just kept sort of blending together when I was trying to create definitive shapes. So that is something that I'm hoping to work on. Um, to make sort of wisteria flowers that are able to be separated. Um, but it's all a work in progress, which is all this is. This is all just a repeated exploration and discovery and finding what works and what doesn't, what I like compared to what I don't like, um, figuring out how the different mediums blend together, as pretty much all of these are just oil pastel on their own. Um, they have I have a lot of difficulty combining mediums, which is something that I need to get over. I think it's like I have things in their set boxes and I don't like to then merge them. Uh, it's like when you're in a box, you stay there. So that is something that I want to work on and improve with. Um, and definitely, definitely try out a few different things. So this was the Mungyo pastels, just Mungyo pastels and nothing else. Um, and I definitely had a lot of fun with this piece. It's the only person that I've tried to do. I find portraiture quite difficult, and this ended up looking nothing like the reference. The colors were obviously not supposed to, but the features I just couldn't get right. But I do, in the end, really like it. It's definitely a lot of fun and a lot of fun comparing like the sort of blending uh, areas with thick bits of unblended pastel. Um, and it was my first attempt of using oil pastel on a canvas, and I think it worked out pretty well. This was the oil pastel kit that I was talking about earlier. The oil pastel can come out quite thickly, and I really, really enjoyed that. I like the work to look very textural, which is something that I sort of discovered more recently. That is, I like how thick it is, and I like how it's, a little bit messy. The camera's a little bit blurry. I apologize for that. Um, and it definitely, you can see like each stroke. It's not a brush, it's a marker. A marker? It's a pastel. I don't know what I'm saying apparently. But you can see, individual chunks. Um, Here I tried some impasto, so splitting bits off the um, oil pastel and putting them down. Um, but yeah, so I have a few different paper types that I'm gonna try and test out. This is like an acrylic, a cheap acrylic pad, but it's textured in a very different way. So I want to see how that comes up. This is some cardstock that is it's textured, but not in the way that it's like dimpled. It's almost got a slight furriness to the paper, which is a bit interesting. I have some watercolor paper. This one here has three different types of textures in the one book. So you've got this rough paper that I think is like really unique. I don't have much rough paper. And then you've got the very, very smooth hot press paper, as well as your more classic cold press paper. But I definitely want to try it out on this rough paper. It's got a very rough surface, but it's not super dimpled, so it should be easier to blend, but still hold a lot of um, of the pastel laying down, which can be the problem on, you know, your smoother paper. It doesn't hold down as well. But here is another watercolor pad, but this one is cellulose. So I'm not going to use watercolor on it. So I'm using oil pastel instead. Same with this one. So I'm just going to test out a few different things. Um, the same with some more fancier paper. Now, this is pastel, as in soft pastel, I believe. But I'd like to see it on the black paper, see what it comes up like. And it's quite textural, so hopefully that will work well. And same with this paper, it is toned brown, and it is textured in a different way. So hopefully they will work, and I will find the right paper to work on. Yeah. So that's pretty much a show of all my oil pastel pieces, even the ones that I'm not too proud of. They're the ones that I sort of glazed over and didn't really talk about. Um, but all in all, I'm very excited to spend some time with this medium this month. And if this works out well, I'm going to try and do the same thing with some other mediums so I get a deeper understanding and just improve my skills. So that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and if I'm lucky, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.